decades challenge thing. You may have seen me pop up a few minutes ago, and then disappear, and that is because the breaker for my power, like the breakers in your houses and stuff. If you live in the U.S., I don't know if they have them other places. Anyway, it decided to flip suddenly for no reason because it just hates me, and so had to deal with that. It's fixed now. If it flips again, I'm probably gonna flip my shit, but anyway, as I stated in the last episode, we are in the 1950s. We are in the year 1950. To the best of my ability, with no CC or mods, because I am on console. Hashtag add more historical outfits, please, Sims. I'm not talking 1920s, which 1920s is nice, like, give me some more of those outfits, but, please give me more. Anyway, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by an act of God. That's a joke. You can laugh at that. I was talking about how our Sims here, Jane and Moses, are Southern Baptists, and how I'm not really going to be sugarcoating the history of anything in this, okay? Because I don't believe in sugarcoating history, because history is something that happened. It happened. And even if we ourselves were not alive, we must still, kind of own up to the history of it and learn from it and ensure that the lessons from our history are not forgotten. Now, I was about to explain more about the Southern Baptist Church, because these are Southern Baptists. That's their religion, that's what they follow, and a little bit about the history. Now, and I've got like a Wikipedia thing pulled up right now, which I know some people are like, you only do Wikipedia? No, I don't. I checked through other sources. However, Wikipedia words it in a way that is easily understood by the masses. So, I'm going to read from this little excerpt here. The Southern Baptist Convention, SBC, alternatively known as the Great Commission Baptists, is a Christian denomination based in the United States. It is the world's largest Baptist organization and the largest Protestant and second largest Christian body in the United States. The SBC is a cooperation of fully autonomous, independent churches with commonly held essential beliefs that pool some resources for missions. This means that while, yes, there's a lot of, with Southern Baptists, there is like a big, there's a group core of beliefs that the majority follow, but every church is relatively independent, which means one pastor can run his church one way and another pastor runs it completely differently. This is actually seen a lot here in the South. Oftentimes, if people don't like a pastor, they'll go to the different church, because there's usually let me see, my area alone, like just in my small town alone, there is like 4, 5 Southern Baptist churches. Anyway, the classification for it is Protestant, orientation is Baptist, theology is evangelical fundamentalists, so fundies. The polity is congregational. The current president for the SBC is Bart Barber. It's in the United States. It was founded May 8th to May 12th of 1845. Exact date is disputed. And we separated from the Triennial Convention in 1845. And there are a few other separations, as well as the American Baptist Association, Alliance of Baptists, Cooperative Baptist Fellowship. So there is a lot of that, and it has a international mission board as well as an aid organization known as Southern Baptist Disaster Relief. Now, I'm going to be speaking more about the history of the Southern Baptists / the Baptists. Now, I'm specifying Southern Baptist because that is the religion that I grew up with. It was the main one that I was in as a child. And in the South, it's not uncommon for someone to grow up in a specified religion, many people kind of get that America is kind of considered a very Protestant nation, a very religious and sometimes a little zealous country. And as such, there's a lot of people that just grow up in these churches. In fact, the area that I live in is known as the Bible Belt because there are so many churches and there's such a pressure to be part of a church. Doesn't really matter which one, but a church. And religion is used as a form of morality and is sort of something to gauge someone on. And a lot of religious teachings are still sort of taught and ingrained in the society that I currently live in, especially as I grew up. See, when I was born with parents who were not married. My mother and father have never married. They've never been married. Mainly for tax reasons. But, and they have tried to get married, but every time that they've tried, a hurricane has come through, so they all figured, you know what, that's the universe talking, so we're just going to listen there, we're not going to get married. But me and my brother were both born out of wedlock, which, while that may not seem like a big thing, especially depending on where you grew up, it is still sort of taboo in this area. Now, it's a lot less taboo than it was when I was growing up, but it was still relatively taboo and kind of, shocking. Because when you growing up, especially my mother as she was growing up, you were taught you marry and then you have children. You don't have children outside of wedlock. It's something that's shameful. And sadly, it's also something that still affects a lot of young girls in my area. I remember being in high school with one girl who got pregnant, and she was sort of, what's the word? She was sort of shunned by everybody in the school. I didn't shun her. I'd wave at her. I'd be like, "Hi, how you doing?" I'd help bring her bags in and stuff. She was a pregnant woman. She open the door for her, okay? She's carrying enough. But it was still, she was pretty much shunned by a lot of people. I don't really know what became of her. Never really knew her name. I mean, I was polite, but we weren't really close or friends or anything, so but I remember seeing her be shunned. But another thing I remember growing up is because I was a child that was born out of wedlock, as well as my brother. Now, I can't tell you if my brother really experienced anything with it. He's never told me, and I never really noticed it. But I remember being a kid and being told that I shouldn't exist because my parents aren't married. I actually had a little girl in my class tell me that I was a bastard and that I was going to go to hell because I was born out of wedlock, which, for an 8-year-old to hear is kind of terrifying. But and I grew up in the Southern Baptist Church, and it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was not the greatest. Now, for children, you're pretty much sheltered a bit from the brunt of everything, but I was a very aware child. I was very much the one to be in adult conversations and listening to the adults talk to one another. If you were a quiet child, most people just forgot you were there and would just talk as if you weren't there or had ears. Or they just assumed you couldn't understand them because you were a kid, which, spoiler alert, I understood everything. And if I didn't, I would figure it out. But, I was also treated differently within the church because I was a child out of wedlock. Not cruelly, but I was not as embraced by the village, some would say. And, yeah. So that I grew up in there, and it was a lot. There's also a very big pressure within the Southern Baptist Church. Women are not permitted to become preachers. You can be a preacher's wife. You can take care of the children in the nursery. You can sing in the choir. You can play in the musical bands and stuff. But you there will never be a woman who has a position of actual power within the church that puts her in power over a man. And that is because women are told to submit and be obedient to the men in charge, be it their husbands, brothers, or fathers, or simply any man, really. And you are also taught to wear clothes modestly, which there's nothing wrong with being modest. I tend to wear a lot of modest clothing. I tend to wear some clothes that aren't very modest, but for the most part I tend to stick to modesty for myself, as it is something that I prefer for myself. I'm not in the church anymore. I don't go. I don't subscribe to that faith. But there is still a lot of it that's ingrained that I am unlearning. And so modesty is very much something that is pushed heavily. And let's see, what else is there? So, women can't have any positions of power. They're supposed to be subservient to their husbands and to really any man within the church. Women are to remain modest and chaste. You're expected to never raise your voice or be angry. You must watch your tongue. You must never say anything that is rude. You must never show anger or anything that isn't considered delicate or womanly or ladylike. One of the things that always stuck in my throat as a child was being told that I need to quiet down, or the boys that would pull my pigtails or throw mud at me or just bother me, as guys kind of do. Which that's not me saying boys will be boys. It was a behavior that needed to be curbed. That wasn't. One thing that always stuck in my throat was whenever I would get angry, especially if I was in the church, there would always be at least one or two older ladies going, now, don't, it ain't, you need to be ladylike, quit crying, fix your face, you need to be sweet, you need to be good, okay? That always stuck in my throat. I hated it. And it is something that's still within the church to this day. Now, some churches are more free about that, more open, but then there are some that are far more strict. Most people sort of know the Mormons and the Warren cult up in I think it was Utah. Some of you may have known or seen the documentary Keep Sweet, Pray, and Obey, and a lot of Southern Baptist is very similar. It takes certain things from it. Now, Southern Baptists, we don't believe that when we die we get our own planets or have to have multiple wives and all of that, but there is a lot of similarities with that church that Southern Baptists have. And another thing with the Southern Baptists is, while there are denominations that are full of individuals that are of color, who are of African descent, from what I personally saw, the majority were white, and a lot of the elders within the church, be it the pastor or the brothers of the church, would be racist. They were never loud about it, at least from what I could pick up. I mean, I'm sure they were louder in different ways, but there were a lot of racist undertones. There was not a single black person in my church at all. There were very few kids of color in my classes when I was in the same area. Because I used to go to an elementary school where the church would send buses to pick up the children and bring them to the church on Wednesdays, because we had Wednesday worship as well as Sunday, and there were very few children of color there, and were absolutely no people of color within our church. None at all. And as such, I'm pretty sure there was a lot of racism that as a child I didn't pick up on, and there were some that I did pick up on, and some things that I noticed. And there's actually a reason for that. I didn't know this until I recently learned this, I think about a month ago. But I actually have it pulled up right now. In 1845, the Southern Baptists separated from the Triennial Convention in order to support slavery, which the Southern churches regarded as an institution of heaven. During the 19th and most of the 20th century, it played a central role in Southern racial attitudes, supporting racial segregation and the lost cause of the Confederacy while opposing interracial marriage. Beginning in the late 1970s, a conservative movement began to take control of the organization. By the 1990s, this movement had succeeded in taking control of the leadership of the SBC. In 1995, the organization apologized for its racial positions in its history. Since the 1940s, it has spread across the United States with tens of thousands of afflicted churches, and affiliated churches, and 41 affiliated state conventions. Churches affiliated with the association are evangelical in doctrine and practice, emphasizing the significance of the individual conversion experience, which is affirmed by the person having complete immersion in water for a believer's baptism. Other specific beliefs based on biblical interpretation can vary by congressional polity to balance local church autonomy with accountability against abuses of ministers and others in the individual churches. These claims are disputed by pastors whose churches have been expelled because of their support for LGBTQ inclusion, which contradicts its confession of faith. The association forbids women from becoming pastors and denounces same-sex marriage as an abomination. Now, I'll be honest, a lot of that is still true. There is a lot of racism within the church. There's still a lot of homophobia within the church. Now, I left the church, let's see, how old was I? When was the last time I went to church? I think I was 12 years old when I and my family left the church. Now, my father, he never really cared for the church at all. He was not into it. My father was very much so he believed in God, but him and God don't get along. Is my dad's relationship with faith. My mother and my brother, though, were pretty devout, but after a personal emergency happened that had left me relatively traumatized, we had to pull away from the church in order to focus on self-healing, and it gave my mother and my brother chances to explore their own faith away from the church. But there was a lot of racism, sexism, and homophobia within the church, and from what I can tell, there still is. Not to mention, there is a lot of in some of the churches, there are certain pastors and individuals with power who will abuse other individuals simply because they can and they want to. And that is some of the history of the Southern Baptist Church, and we are playing Southern Baptists in the 1850s. Now let me go ahead and state that I do not support anything that the Southern Baptist Church does. I do not support racism, homophobia, sexism, xenophobia. I do not support anything that basically says that a human being is not equal to another human being for whatever reason. And I do not condone any of what this history shows or says or what these Sims may believe. I am simply trying to learn about history as well as share the history that I learn about, as well as explore it and see certain stories to try and wrap my own mind around why certain people would believe these things and why certain things happened. My intention with this will be to be respectful, but I am not going to be sugarcoating the history at all. But yes, that is more about the Southern Baptist Church. Now that that's out of the way, let me speak of our Sims here. Now this over here, this is the pastor, Paul Silverman. He is the father of the church, and oh, where'd he go? this is oh, what did I name him? John. This is John Winters. Now, I didn't make the sim. I got him off the gallery. I just changed his last name. That's it. And I married him to Jane's sister, Mary, so that so that I could add some family in here. I'm going to be adding more family to their family tree, both off screen and probably on screen at some point. It depends, because sometimes I get technical difficulties that cause me to have to leave the game, so I'll probably just do it off screen. But currently, John Winters just finished giving a testimonial about his faith and is going to go sit by his wife. Now, please try to, if you can, to ignore as many of the modern sims as you can. I'm playing without mods and doing the best I can with what I have. But yes, they are currently at church. Now, oh, I like this. Because this very rarely happens. But one thing that also happens a lot in the Southern Baptist Church that I grew up with is individuals who would convert. You know, they would come up, they would give their testimonies of faith, you know, saying, at first I didn't really tie into all this, but, you know, the Lord spoke to me and as he deems and stuff. And a lot of that also happened in the 1850s. And so many times you would have pastors or the brothers of the church come, and they would shake the hands of the individuals before or after giving their testimonials, saying, "Thank you for joining our church, brother, whoever, so and so." Or if it was a woman who stood up to give her testimonial, the pastor and or one of the older brothers of the church would go, "Thank you, sister so and so, you know, for your testimonial of faith and God," and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure it was very similar in the 1850s. I cannot give 100% sure that's what it was like in the 1850s, because I'm not from the 1850s. I can only tell you what I know from growing up in the church. And I like to think that the pastor's just going on and on about, you know, the artistry of God and all that, because that's something that they would do. They would use a lot of poetic language in their sermons and in the way to speak to other people. I'm not going to lie to you. It is very cult-like. It was extremely cult-like. William's looking kind of fine. Now over here, actually, I made a few sims, okay? This sim right here is the pastor's wife. You can see she's got her hair up. She's got very plain face. She's got no makeup on. In the 1850s, it was kind of, you know, you weren't really supposed to wear makeup. And as a pastor's wife, she most certainly will not be wearing makeup. And that is because, you know, it was seen as, if you wore makeup, you were a loose woman. Even in the church today, if you wear any flashy makeup or someone can tell that you're wearing makeup, you're considered a loose woman, which, you know, ugh. Oh, they're debating. And now she's giving her testimonial. I joined the church over 10 years ago. She's like, I joined the church over 10 years ago. I was baptized 10 years ago. I grew up in the church. But, thank you for listening to my husband's testimonial and all that. Well, I don't know what the hell Mary's saying. Thank you, sister, for your testimonial. And as they continue to give testimonials and stuff. Now, you may be able to tell, but both Mary and the pastor's wife, Sally Mae, are pregnant. They are with child, but their dresses hide it because in the 1850s you did not want pregnancy to be known. Okay, and now that it is lunchtime, I'm going to say that it is now the end of church because they would often end during lunchtime, especially in the South. Now, sometimes you wouldn't get home till like 2 or 3, but now that they're done with everything, I'm going to say that Moses is going to go speak with the pastor. No, I didn't want her to go home. And I'm going to have Jane go speak with her sister Mary. Now, a lot of things about women, especially back in the day, is that they were the main individuals who came up with the, what was it called? The community. Also, this is our teacher, Louise Cabral. She resides with one of the richer families of the area. Many teachers, especially in the 1800s, would move in with families and stay with them for the school year. Okay, so apparently they're not going to stay behind and speak with the individuals. So we're going to have our Sims go ahead and travel because they have got to go and do things. But yes, now spoken about the history of the Southern Baptist Church, about why they originally split from the original church, because it used to be just one big church, one big convention of churches. And why the split happened, it was because one side of the church supported slavery and the other did not. Now, the Civil War does not hit until the 1860s. I'm going to have to pull that up to find the exact year, which I will do so shortly. But they split in 1845 because one side supported slavery while the other did not. Let me see if I can't find it. We're gonna stop by the Oak Barrel, not because we drink, because alcohol drinking was kind of frowned upon, especially for a lady. A woman would never enter a saloon unless she was a lady of ill repute. Or if she was there to drag her husband out, or if her husband owned the saloon and she just happened to live above it, much to her irritation. Now, more about the Baptists is the most early Baptists in the British colonies came from England in the 17th century after conflict with the Church of England for their dissenting religious views. In 1638, Roger Williams founded the first Baptist church in British America at the Providence Plantations, the first permanent European American settlement, also founded by Williams in Rhode Island. The oldest Baptist church in the South, First Baptist Church of Charleston, South Carolina, was organized in 1682 under the leadership of William Scriven. A Baptist church was formed in Virginia in 1715 through the preaching of Robert Norden, and another in North Carolina in 1727, through the ministry of Paul Palmer. And that's a bit more of the Baptist history, which I'll be in more videos. I will be discussing more and more of the history as I learn it and as I'm able to share it. Now, Now, because this is the South and it is the year 1850, there are slaves in this game. I have 2 in this game. There will be a few more. And they are owned by the preacher of the Southern Baptist Church. Now, let me go ahead and say, I mean, I shouldn't have to say it. It should just be common sense, but I know I have to say it before I have people yell at me. I do not support or condone slavery of any kind, shape, or form. At all. Period. Okay? I am not trying to make light of the suffering that happened, and I am not trying to, what's the word for it? I am not trying to make slavery seem like it was a good thing. I am not trying to do that. That's not my intention. And I am not doing it because I hold the beliefs that anyone is lesser or belongs in slavery. I am doing this purely for the historical accuracy as much as I can get, and in order to learn and teach about what was happening during this period of time. Okay? I've said that. I'll say it again in the future. But now no one can come for me, okay? Now, as time progresses, because we are 10 years away from the Civil War hitting, I will be having there will be a video where we see these individuals freed, and unlike the many of the individuals that happened, unlike many of the individuals that just got away with it with nothing more than a slap on the wrist back in the day, I will be holding these Sims accountable, so there will be some historical inaccuracy. Now, some were held accountable, but I believe that because of everything, that the preacher will lose most of his money and will have to leave town, and I will be giving his land to the individuals he enslaved. As back when slaves were originally freed, they were supposed to have the slave owners were supposed to give the slaves at least an acre of land, and a mule, which many never got, because the government is the government and will never uphold promises to the people. Yeah, but unlike then, reparations will be felt in the area. Now, I do not know whether or not these Sims will own slaves. It is something I am thinking about, because if I do go along with that decision, I want to make sure that I do enough research to ensure that the story that I tell is respectful and is not going to come off as disrespectful and ignorant, because that's not my intention. I simply want to learn and teach about the history. So, yeah. So, we're gonna go shop for groceries and goods while we're here. What's wrong with our horse? His fun is low and his hygiene is low, so... Now, we also have something else that will be upcoming soon, and that is an outbreak of... I can't remember if it was cholera or yellow fever, one of the two. But there will be an outbreak, and we will be sending the twins to stay with Jane's sister so that they can hopefully stay away from the outbreak. We will roll a die to decide whether or not they survive. We have milk. We need some carrots. I need some more flour. And we'll get some red meat. Okay. Now that church is over. We will also be getting a new horse today. We will be getting a rescue horse. We'll get Polaris. What Moses wants to do is he wants to train and breed horses to sell at auction. Now, another thing that we will be doing in this Let's Play and touching on, other than like the religious undertones and obviously the slavery at the time, we will also be exploring how these things affected interpersonal relationships and how this civilization at the time thought. I really want to get into that, and I really want to learn about it, and I really want to explore it, you know? Okay, she's starving. Now, we are going to horse care, send home, and then you are going to go home too. Now he is going to go home. But yes, as I stated, we will also be studying and learning about how different diseases affected at this time. Some of the main culprits were yellow fever and cholera. Yellow fever coming from mosquitoes and cholera coming from dirty water. And as such, there will be a moment, a good week, where we send our daughters to live with our sister, so that they may escape the brunt of the outbreak. And then we will be rolling a die for them to ensure that to see if they live or not. And then we will be rolling a die to see if any of our adults die from the illness. Oh, goodness. Another thing that I will be exploring and speaking about will be the native residential schools and the effects that they had as well. And just a lot of things that happened throughout history I will be exploring and talking about and learning. While also, I'm going to be trying to tell a story about the family here and how they changed and how each family member was different, how they were similar, and where certain things may have come from. And this is simply because I am interested in history and would like to learn it and share it. I've never really streamed a lot before, so I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, and we are back home. I'm going to bring Jane here. Jane is going to come and serve a dinner. Because we don't have any power, turn off utility usage. Cook off the grid. Now, in the 1850s, power was starting to become something, I think. Actually, hold on, let me check that before I say that. Okay, so we don't get electricity until 1878. And that's fine. Let's see. No. Oh, we have a guest. That's nice. Well, we'll cook out here for now. Cook a feast. Ooh, we can have island vegetable feast. That's awesome. How about grand barbecue? Oh my god, yes. Let's do a fish dinner. Fish dinner. Chicken. Winner, chicken dinner. He's gonna go. Our neighbor has come to visit us, so we're just gonna go and talk to him. Gonna friendly. We're gonna gossip. We're gonna. Because men were big gossipers. They say it was the women, but it was the men. Affection, not affection. Interests. Discuss interests. Now, while Jane goes ahead and gets that done, we're not going to listen to the horse. What we're going to do is there we go. So let's go ahead and assign bed. This bed will be for Polaris. We're going to unlock. We're going to let's see. Ask horse to play. Go tell Rosie to play with that. And then come over here. Ask horse to eat. Polaris. Hello! Thank you for joining. I can see that you joined. I don't know who joined, but hi. Thank you for joining. We're in the 1850s. Woohoo! Big summer blowout. Oh, my game's buggy. I hate buggy games. She's gonna go call him to the meal. Come on, Polaris. Come on, you good horsey. Oh, who's a pretty horsey? Who's a pretty horsey? You're a pretty horsey. Why am I flying away? Don't worry, our dinner is on its way. Unlock. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask the horse to play. We're going to call in Rosie. Rosie, come play with your ball. Lock 4. All mini sheep. See, you always do this. You know what? I'm about to fix this. I'm getting sick of this problem. It's always something with this horse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move you over there so that you don't get deleted. Then we're going to put the chickens back over here. It's not intersecting anything, you stupid. Now stay where I put you. Whoa. Okay, yeah, it's not doing anything that I want it to do, so I've got to do it manually. I knew something like this would happen. Oh my god. If I click on you, you do the thing. It's that easy. Why is my controller doing this? I'm gonna try this again. You're going to select the ball. Ha ha ha! I got a ball! Eat my nuts! And I'm going to go quickly save the game because I have a sneaking suspicion that it's about to be a bitch to me, and I am not pleased at all. I swear, I'm gonna say it. I think it might be the fact that they're doing these like, oh my god, we've got weekly rewards. Come check in and then log into the game. If I could stream without the internet, I would. On console, you can play the game without internet access, which is great. Because do you know how great it runs when you're not connected to the internet? It's phenomenal when it's not connected to the internet. Yesterday, I was trying to make some Sims in this save, and yeah, it didn't go too well. So I might actually have to move them to a whole new save. If I do, I'm not going to be pleased at all. Okay. So, now just before I do anything, let me make sure that, yeah, autonomy is off, so they shouldn't be autonomously doing anything. Ask horse to play. Rosie. What does this horse need? Okay, his fun needs to be done. Ask horse to play. Polaris. And now, you can send this man home. What does this child need? Assad, you know what we're doing with you, child? You go put infant to bed. Put Assad to bed. Quit talking. Put Assad to bed. Then put infant to bed, Miriam. Now that she's done that, I need her to take care of some things. Anyway, now we're getting back into the groove of thing. We're gonna scatter some feed nearby. We're gonna... see, did I have her get the eggs, or did I have her husband do it? I had her husband do it. That's fine. Moses, how are you doing, chickadee, bro? Home slice, bread slice. Here we go, get that egg in there. We'll go ahead and get some of this into the ice box. One thing that I like to do is get my meat from the butcher, not in game, but in real life, because he slices it really decently. The bacon, wonderful. It tastes better too, and his prices aren't that bad. If you make good friends with your butcher, okay, you're gonna get some pretty decent prices. So just be nice to the guy cutting your meat. You know, once my chickens start laying some more again, I might bring some eggs up to him. Yeah, put your child into bed. Good night, Assad. And then we're gonna put Miriam to bed. Let me see. I have my calendar. I'm gonna go ahead and X out of this. Check my calendar real quick. Oh! They age into toddlers the day after I send them away. That'll be great. We'll, cause cholera outbreak, yes, you can see. And then this is when the cholera outbreak ends. And these are just to remind me to go to church. But as you can see, we have the cholera outbreak coming up. And then we're gonna have it end on a Tuesday of next week. But I can't wait for this day, because I get to send these two kids away. And they'll be toddlers for a little while. And I can handle toddlers. I don't like infants, at least not in this game. Well, with this challenge. Yeah, go get Miriam to sleep. Jane, what are you doing, honey? Oh god. The chickens are out. Friendly scratch neck. She's like, easy boy, easy. It's okay. You're being a good boy. Friendly. Talk to. Oh, thank God Miriam's a self-soother. Yes, I get it. You're hungry. No, cell phones do not exist. So what we're gonna go do now is we're going to go ahead and spray for bugs, water all. Then we're gonna go over here and we're gonna harvest all and water all. Yeah, see kiddo, I am going to just ignore you for a little while. And now that our serve meal. Go serve the meal, chickadee. Really? Really? These Sims, man. Go, get some food. No, don't you go in there. Okay, girly pop. I want you to go use your bathroom. And I want you to go to sleep. Okay, so it looks like we've got enough for me to do a little something. I think I'm gonna have her sister stay. No. Let me think. Sometimes stable hand would sleep connected to the stable, so I think we're gonna go and get us a stable hand. One that lives with us, not one that you know. So we're just gonna build a little shack. Nothing fancy, just something, you know. To you know what? I think I'll have him make him a brother. I know what I'm gonna do now. Ooh, so too big. Too big. Okay. So what we're gonna do is move over here. just gonna copy that. That will have like a transient worker come. I'm gonna say he's gonna have a packed in dirt floor. There. Now let's get them a nice little window, because they deserve to have at least like one little window, you know. Get them a little window covering too, because these should have something nice. This'll do. There. We don't have much money left. Well, guess it'll do. It's a decent little house. And tomorrow we'll go and get some stable hands. Come on, girly. You know what? I can't be damned with this child. I need you to just be fine, okay? No, it's the other one I need to be fine. You, hush. Just try go night. Esau, you too. I'm gonna keep them asleep because I can't. And we're gonna collect honey. I'm gonna get him into sleepwear. And I'm gonna have him grab a serving. Oh, dude, what the hell's wrong with you now, baby? Pet care. First off, friendly. Pet. He's just a sweet old puppy dog. That's what him is. I love puppy dogs. They're the cutest little things ever. I got like 4 cats outside though. 4 little kittens. One of the mama cats gave birth recently. I say recently, it's been a few weeks. They tiny little things. Cute as a button too. Awesome. He went potty outside. And now you can go to hell to sleep. Well, while they try to go night-night. Well, one went night-night, the other one's still up. Hey! You better not wake them. You woke up them babies. Duke! Duke! What the hell you thinking about doing? You waking up them babies, I'ma come beat your ass. Pop you on your nose. That's what I'll do, pop you on your nose. I'm gonna send you hunting. Go hunt something. Get out these babies' hair. Tell a bedtime story to that baby. And she's gonna go back to sleep. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna lock for all pets because I don't want that dog coming back in here waking up my babies. Just got them to sleep. Hell you thinking, Duke? But yeah, oh my god, they're so adorable. Okay, girly pop. I actually recently gave her a newer outfit, which I'm about to put her in because she hasn't worn it before. And it's not 100% historically accurate, but it's as close as I can get, you know? Yeah, it looks absolutely lovely. Gorgeous, stunning. Okay, it's 4:27 a.m. We're gonna go down here and we're gonna go ahead and set the table with the casual setting the yellow. We'll go ahead and fill that bowl up. Want you to sell everything here. Ain't a whole bunch for you to sell, so then we're gonna go ahead and get started on breakfast. I wonder how many times I'm gonna have to press turn off utility uses before it gets the idea to do that. Turn off. Cook. Let's see everything we can cook. There ain't a lot. Okay, so like there's a lot of food that we could make. Fine. Cook off the grid. Gotta do it this way. Oh. And I guess I'll turn power on for now, but family size. Okay, Daddy-o, time for you to wake up. I'm gonna have you I'm gonna have you quickly brush teeth as well. I'm sorry for the long silences. When I get focused in, I just go quiet. My mouth just shuts, and I'm like, I'm consumed by the task at hand. She's gonna go ahead and serve this breakfast, and then she's gotta go get this baby. Yes, she does. Little Miriam. Baby care. Feed. Breastfeed. Oh, and what's up with you? Oh, Miriam's hungry. Assad, honey, you just go ahead and use your diaper, baby. Moses, need you to change Assad's diaper. Oh, Assad. Baby care, change diaper too. And I'm gonna need you to go put Miriam down there, honey. I think we're gonna be focusing mainly on the kids today. But that's after I save and quickly go get us some farm hands, because we're gonna need them to take care of the farm. I'm gonna get 2 farm hands. Before you ask, no, I've decided that they're not gonna be enslaved people. I mean, this might be the 1950s, but I think that he just wants some farm hands. Just, he's got some family that needs some help. I thought about making. There might be a brother of his, a younger brother of his who's down out on his luck and needs some help getting on his feet. Or no, I think I've got it. They'll be cousins. He'll be like, "This is my cousin and his daughter. They came down to help on the farm." So we're gonna go to Managed Worlds. I've saved so we can just go to Managed Worlds. Before you ask, yes, I do play off screen as well. And that's just so I can get some stuff done and get some things finished. And move us right on along. So the next time y'all see these kids, you're probably gonna end up seeing them as toddlers. Ain't that something? And go to the gallery and look for farm hands, because I don't want to make the farm hands. Remember, we got, hold on, let's see, there's 2 adults, 2 kids, 2 horses, a dog. I can only have 1 farm hand. We'll say yeah. We'll say that it was a cousin of his that's come by to help with the farm while he gets his own bearings and stuff. And Moses, now that you've changed her diaper, I need you to go and give Assad a bath. Because she had a blowout, so she's stinky. Now, Archie, quit playing things. I'm gonna go ahead and fill his needs because I'm saying that he arrived fully prepared to do everything. So let's go ahead and unlock all of these stables. So we're gonna unlock. First things first, he's going to take care of the horses. So he's going to clean the beds, okay. Gonna get some manure picked up. And then we're going to brush her coat, clean hooves. Then we're going to go over here. We're going to horse care, brush coat, clean hooves. We're just gonna put Miriam down here. Tummy time, and then play with Miriam. Why haven't you bathed your daughter like I told you to? It's not that difficult. Just do as I say. Give bath. Assad. You just pick up the infant, carry her to the bath, put her in bath, and wash. Oh, now you can do it now that I'm over your shoulder. And now we're just going to go ahead and... I'm going to bottle feed Assad. Now keep in mind that bottles were not 100% hygienic, but... Okay, it's 8 a.m. She's had a late start, so she needs to leave things be. Oh, she grabbed something. Wow, good job, Miriam. Go do your laundry. Moses is going to go ahead and then you're going to put a sod down there. And you're going to grab a serving. Now we're going to go check with Archie over here. After that, I'm gonna have him clean the shed. Have him feed Daisy. Clean Daisy. Socialize. Pet. More choices, and then milk. Meanwhile, Moses over here. Go ahead and do things. Now, I need you to go weed, spray for bugs, harvest all, water all. And just to ensure that because I've done everything I needed him to do for this morning, go ahead and cheat that need. Both of you go night-night, okay? Oh, this is so riveting, isn't it? But I like this. Everyone's doing their little tasks. Come on, you can do it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end this part here. I'm gonna see you guys in the next episode of this. Or, I might also be streaming the Slow Life Legacy that I have going on as well. I haven't done that in a month. But yeah, I will see you guys in the... Oh, excuse me. I will see you guys in the next episode.